In this video, I'm going to touch on a few tips and tricks or troubleshooting ideas to help guide you with the mobile app and if patients are experiencing issues. So the first thing I want to notate is that the patient app login is always connected to the email address that is in the patient profile. So if you ever change the email address in the patient profile, the patient would then have to use that email address when logging into the app. So I've had this question a number of times of the patient wants to use a different email address to log into the app. That is totally fine. They don't have to re-download the app, anything like that. All you have to do is update the email address in their patient profile in CareHD, and then the patient needs to use that email address when logging in. Also keep in mind, if you change the email address in their patient profile, and do not let the patient know, they cannot log into their app anymore. The second thing I want to dive into is app login troubleshooting. We get lots of messages in support about a patient cannot log in. So I want to take you through a couple tips and things to look at so that you can also help your patients troubleshoot. The first message I want to show you is a patient that has not had their app invite sent to them yet. So if I click into their patient profile and look at this patient app setup button, this button will only be visible if a user has patient app permissions on their user. So if you don't see this button and your office is using the patient app, then you need to have an administrator or someone look at your permissions and get that added. So in this situation, I'm going to click on this button and I see this message. Invite will be sent to, here's the email address. Please verify information before sending. After sending the invitation, the patient will need to download the app using the invite link and create a login. So what this tells me is this patient has not been invited to the app yet. You do have to manually send an app invite to every patient for HIPAA regulations because it's connecting them with their medical records, and so you do have to send it manually to every patient. There is not a way to mass send the app invite email. So for this patient, if they told me they could not log into the app and I see this message, well, that makes sense because they haven't been sent the invite email yet. A patient cannot just download the app and be able to log in. The first step of the process is to download the app, but they have to open up the email on their phone, the app invite email. They have to open that on their phone and click on step 2, which is creating their account. So of course this patient cannot log in because he hasn't even been sent the app yet. So this patient, the first thing I would do is click on send invite. And you'll see email sent successfully. The second scenario is a patient that has been sent the app invite email but has not set up their account yet. And this can happen because maybe they just don't check their email, they forgot, or the link expired after a time. So I'm going to click on this patient and show you what that message looks like. Again, pull up their profile. Here, now I can see it says patient app setup sent. I already have an indicator here that it was sent. So if I click on it, I see this message. This patient has already been sent the app invitation. If they've not received the invitation, have them check their spam folder. You can also try resending the invitation below. So if this patient came to me and said they could not log in to the app, and I see this message, well then I know they have not set up their account yet, so of course they cannot log in. So my first troubleshooting step would be to resend invite, and then tell the patient to open up the email on their phone and click on step 2, which will allow them to set up their account for the app. The third option we have is a patient who has successfully set up their account and logged in, but is having trouble logging in. So again, for this one, I still see the indicator. It says patient app setup sent. But if I click on it, now I see this message. This patient has downloaded and successfully logged into the app. So if this patient came to me and said, I'm having issues logging into my app, and I see this message, then I can confirm. You have already set up your account, you have logged in successfully, so you have done step 1 and step 2, which is required. So what this tells me is they possibly forgot their password. So the first troubleshooting step I would take is encourage this patient to click on Forgot My Password on the app and simply reset up their password again. And another thing that I would confirm with the patient is what email address are they logging in with? Because remember, the email address that they log in with for the app is always connected to the email address in their patient profile. Another thing that I hear is patients cannot schedule or reschedule in the app. Now, we do have videos on app hour setup, but a thing I would always encourage you to look at as an office is going to settings, initial setup, mobile app. And again, you won't see this tab if you do not have app permissions. But a common thing I see is an office not have any app hours set up. So therefore, patients cannot schedule or reschedule in the app. You have to have mobile app hours set up in your office for the patients to have the functionality of being able to schedule or reschedule their appointments. And again, just quickly touching on it, there are cancel and reschedule rules at the bottom. If you are having any other app login issues besides the 3 scenarios that I just walked through, please reach out to support@carehd.com and we will help you with that. A lot of times we will ask you for the patient name and a screenshot of a specific error message because that really guides us into what's going on or what they're experiencing. So please know and expect that we will ask for the patient name and screenshot, and we may even ask you if it's okay if we email the patient directly. The reason is we know you have a lot going on, and we want to protect that. And so we want to just reach out to the patient directly so that you can carry on with the thousands of tasks you have to do and just be able to troubleshoot with the patient directly and make it a little easier to get those screenshots. So we may ask all of those above. So I just wanted to set that expectation for you.